Shout out Jamal.
Jamal.
All right, let's get into the
Was he
show, guys.
black?
Big
Your
show
people
today.
was black.
We have
Like
a
it.
playoff game to recap, a playoff game to preview, and 2 interviews and some Brown stuff to get to. And that's going to be brought to us today all by FanDuel. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, you live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's at FanDuel.com/UCSS. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Bo, we're going to talk some Guardians to start today's show. Cleveland losing 5-2 yesterday in Game 1 of the ALCS against the New York Yankees, despite the fact the Yankees were 0-for when it came to hits with runners in scoring position. I want to start the conversation with this question, then you guys can take it wherever you want. But did Bo Naylor cost the Guardians yesterday with some suspect defense behind the plate?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I tell you. you know what the sick thing is?
Yeah.
Is before he just said that, I was gonna come in here and I was gonna say, you know what? They did Joey wrong. You know, it was like throw him in the fire and see what he does, right? Question. I can't remember off the top of my head. When he came in the game, was the bases loaded already?
It was.
Okay, so
Yeah.
He was throwing some good pitches. The 2 that he let that was wild. But I will say, a good catcher does stop these things.
Yeah.
Especially the second one.
Well, the first one was in his glove.
Yes.
And he picked his hand up and the ball came flying out of his glove.
That's true too.
Yeah. He's got to stop those.
Yeah.
Now, Cantillo was obviously.
He wasn't bad. The pitches wasn't bad. Those two might have been.
He threw a lot of balls. I mean, he threw more balls than strikes in that inning.
That's true. But
he was not pitching
nervous.
well.
He was nervous.
He was clearly nervous in that situation.
He's a rookie, right?
He is.
Yes.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about that call to go to him?
I want to know the same thing.
So
It is
You said Cobb didn't have it.
I did not have a problem going to Cantillo. It obviously didn't work out.
with the bases loaded.
Well, here's the problem is they got him warming up when the inning started and there was just a runner on first. So when you're warming him up, you don't know that it's going to be, like if they knew when they started warming him up that it was going to be bases loaded, they probably would have brought in someone else. And second, I got to be real about it, right? So I didn't have a problem with them bringing him in the beginnings. But second guessing it, looking back, you probably should have had somebody else warming up in that situation because he's a starting pitcher. Bringing him in with the bases loaded is not ideal. That's a really tough spot for any pitcher, especially a rookie in Yankee Stadium with the bases loaded. But he didn't warm a second person up, so by the time you got into that situation, they had no choice but to put Cantillo in. But he probably, especially when the trainer came out to look at Cobb, they probably should have warmed 2 guys up. My bigger issue is why start Cantillo the following inning? Because clearly he didn't have it. So why, when he did get out of the inning, he struck out, I believe, Verdugo to end the inning.
Oh, was it 2-0?
It was
3-0. 3-0.
Why bring him out? And so the argument would be, well, the first 2 Yankee hitters in the bottom of the 4th are lefties. So you're going to, well, okay, let him face the lefties and then bring in the righty Avila for Judge, which is what they did. But because he had struggled with his command so badly, they should have, at the very least, pulled him there. And you could have even gone right to Avila and have him face the 2 lefties. Or you could have brought in Sobrowski, who pitched well outside of the 1 home run he gave up. And you could have had him,
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
A more seasoned or veteran manager, would they have made that mistake of not having 2 guys warm up?
Well, yeah, I mean, you never know. If you go back to the 26.
So this isn't like Stephen Vault just because he's a rookie manager.
No.
Okay.
I mean, think back to the 2016 World Series, right? You had Terry Francona against Joe Madden, 2 of the greatest managers in baseball. Terry Francona is going to be a Hall of Famer. I think Joe Madden could end up being a Hall of Fame manager as well. So 2 of the best managers of modern history. They both, I'm not going to recap every single thing that happened, but what gets lost at the end to some degree of the 2016 World Series is, in my opinion at least, both managers made some egregious mistakes in that series. Egregious. And these are two of the best managers of all time. So no manager is immune to mistakes.
Well,
if Joey Cantillo goes out there and pitches great, nobody's saying they shouldn't have had him in, they shouldn't have done this. It's always easy, and we always got to realize that it's always easy to look back. But when you look at that inning, as you guys are casual baseball
Yes.
fans, do you?
He's more of a fan than I am. I'm
Yeah.
more of the casual.
But
fan.
as a casual fan, who were you blaming at the time more, Cantillo or Bo Naylor? As a fan.
At first, I was blaming Cantillo on that.
Yeah.
But now looking back on
I don't know how hard it is to stop that ball.
That's what I'm saying.
I've never
now
been
looking
in that spot.
now
so it's tough
looking
to-
back
tough
on
to be
it, it's like, come on,
you got to
man.
make that play. It's
Yeah.
like, okay.
Because it wasn't like if it was one of them, he threw it all the way to the left and like it was, but like the fact that it hit you and made contact with
Yeah.
you, like that's
I always believe.
Like, I don't understand.
Go ahead, Dustin.
No, I just like Naylor's like not a great athlete, and not. I mean, I don't know. Like he's never been a great defender, has he?
He's
He's a good
been-
pitch framer.
He's a good pitch framer. So there's
Okay,
a
well,
lot of
that-
different
that
angles.
doesn't have anything to do with what I just said.
No, that's true. That's part of defense, but a different angle of it. He's not. No, he's. I mean, most catchers aren't great athletes.
would
comparatively.
Hedges
I'm
have
just
made
saying,
that
like being
mistake?
able to be nimble back
Yeah.
there, like
But here's the thing: like he's nimble enough. He's good. To me, I have always felt like they scored them both a wild pitch, which is essentially the official score at Yankee Stadium saying
Yeah.
it's the pitcher's fault. Now I disagree with that. The reason they were scored wild pitches is because they hit the dirt. And stupidly in Major League Baseball, the scorer will always give it a wild pitch if it hits the dirt before the catcher. But in my opinion, a Major League catcher, if the ball bounces in front of you, between your shoulder blades,
stop it.
you've got to stop that ball. Absolutely. Now, some pitches are trickier than others, but I thought those were both plays. I'm not saying they're easy,
just get your chest in front of
but
it, right?
you're a
And the-
Major League catcher. And he was trying to, yes, you got to get your body.
You wanna keep
That's
the ball
first
in
thing you
front
tell
of
kids.
you.
Yeah, keep the ball in front of you.
Keep the ball in front of you. He's trying to backhand it with his glove. That's not what you're taught. You backhand with your glove if it's outside your body.
With all
right?
that pad, no, just put your
If
chest
you're
in front
doing
of it.
that with the glove, you better get it. If you don't, you know that you're.
Worst case
I mean,
scenario,
right.
just
You
put your,
gotta
let it
get
hit off your
down.
chest and grab it.
You got to get down. You got to tilt your chest forward, and you got to keep the ball in front of you. And that's something you
just put his
learn.
gut in front of it.
That's it. If he had my gut, maybe you would have been in better shape. But, Naylor's a disaster right now. The Guardians catchers in 6 games in the playoffs have 0 hits between them. Now, with Hedges, we know he can't hit. I mean, the guy's in the big leagues because he's a great team guy and he's a good backup defensive
That's
catcher.
a shame.
But 0 for 13. I mean, you're not contributing anything.
No, I can't say much because the dude that I root for the most, he got his first.
finally got his first hit that year,
I
guy
was
John
like,
Kenzie,
oh
but-
man, it was
Oh, Christmas?
Yeah, he was doing bad. He was swinging at everything
Yeah.
too. I'm like, good night.
Well, he saw that win pregame. He's like, all right, I'm going to take some
I
opportunity.
mean, I don't blame him. Juan Soto did it.
He did.
Phew.
And Brian Rocchio did it as well. And, Rocchio's been fantastic in the postseason. Kwan's been fantastic.
Those guys, all the AUOs or the all you others, the guys that
Yeah.
I mean, like not like the stars, the guys who are kind of nondescript have made good big plays. Yet Naylor and like Hosey, what are we doing?
I mean, Hosey's been better than Naylor, but
Better, sure, but
at
Naylor.
least he's making good contact. But he blew that out. Like, you had the superstar opportunity in the 8th inning.
Yeah, you
It was
did.
5-2. They had 2 on, 2 out. Jose's up, and he hits a weak ground ball the second. Like, that was – the game felt like from the minute it started, it was all Yankees. It
Yeah.
just had that, like, it's their game vibe.
I felt the same thing.
I
And
did too.
I never felt like the Guardians were going to – like,
When Juan
against
Soto
the
hit that
Tigers-
home run, I said it's done.
and even the first 2 innings, like they had base runners, felt like the Guardians were not seeing Rodón, and Rodón, who's been pretty bad as a Yankee.
He was really good
Was
late.
lights
I'm
out
about to say,
last
he was
night.
on
He was
fire.
really good yesterday.
Striking
I mean, how many
people
pitches?
out.
How many times did the
Strikeouts.
Guardians swing at pitches that were hitting the dirt?
Naylor swung at 5
striking out
pitches
everybody.
that were
Yeah.
way off the plate.
I tell you what about Rocchio though.
Yeah.
Jason said on what day was this? Saturday. He was talking about I might think we might need to keep Rocchio and get rid of Jimenez, and I said
Yeah.
you on dog food. That's what I said. Now, it ain't. I'm more open to it. I'm not saying we should do that, but I'm hearing it.
Yeah,
I'll hear it.
Rocchio's got to do it for more than 2 months.
I'll hear it.
But Jimenez, honestly, now his contract is pretty bad, considering how unproductive he's been offensively. I don't know that the Guardians would have an easy time trading him because they signed him to an extension, and he's not been very good. But he's played well the last 2 games, Jimenez.
Yeah, no, I ain't saying
but they need
Rocchio making them plays though.
Yeah. Oh, he's been great. And I don't know that I love the dancing on the home run when it makes it 4-1. I'm not a big fan of that. Dancing, it's just like Greg Newsom celebrating a pass breakup when the Browns are down 14 points. So
it's trying to. Maybe it's energy. It brings energy to the. It sparks everybody else.
Yeah. Well,
maybe
we'll get
that's
to the Browns part of this later, but yeah, but they had their chance with Jose and they couldn't get it done. The only good news from yesterday is that A, it's only one game, and B, at least you got more rest for your top relievers because none of their A-list relievers pitched yesterday. So now coming into tonight,
will you be more aggressive tonight if you're? Because this is sort of like not a must-win, but man, you go down to 0-2. It's pretty close to must-win.
Teams that lose 0-2, that are down 0-2 in a 7-game series, lose that series. I think it's 84% of the time.
All right, so it's a must-win.
I thought it was 88. That's what they said on the broadcast.
88.
I
believe
that's what they said on the broadcast.
It doesn't matter. Either whether it's 84 or 88,
just call it 80.
It's bad.
I just don't want A-Rod and Derek Jeter to be right.
I know those. I hate
yeah, I got that.
Yeah, you definitely stopped yourself.
Yeah. You almost called him a jive turkey.
I don't understand how people don't understand how much. What did you think I was going to say?
You know what you was going to say. You were going to say it.
You were going to call him a CS.
Yeah, you were. Yes, you were.
I don't think people understand how much I hate the Yankees. I grew up. It's not about being in Cleveland. I always hated the Yankees. As a kid, I despised the Yankees. Their fans are so obnoxious. It's unbearable, and they're so cocky and confident. I'm in this chat group with some guys from back in New York, and they're so arrogant about the Yankees. Obviously, it got even worse yesterday. And the Guardians have lost to the Yankees in the playoffs in 2020. They lost to them again in 2022. The Indians, the then Indians, actually beat the Yankees 2 of the first 3 times they played in the playoffs. But since then, the Yankees have won, I think, 4 times in a row. But yeah, they got to win. Listen, until you lose Game 4, it's never over. But they're going to almost definitely lose the series if they lose tonight.
This is the last one for me. Did I miss did Gavin Williams come into rotation yet?
No,
he has not pitched.
He's going to pitch
4.
He'll pitch Game 4. I don't know if they've announced it yet.
He's starting.
They haven't announced it.
I would. You know what? Looking back, they should have started
him
yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I think they should have started him yesterday. And it's a second guess, but he's just got way better stuff than Alex Cobb. And even though he hasn't been that good, I don't know. And now Alex Cobb, by the way, he's dealing with an injury. He may not be able to pitch Game 5. Go ahead.
I do want to ask one thing before we pivot our attention to tonight's game, Bobby versus Cole. But the Guardians, as you mentioned, Bull, it felt like it was a Yankees game literally from the very first pitch to the out, even though the Guardians made it competitive.
Yeah.
Do you think it bodes well for them knowing that despite the fact they didn't get their best pitching effort, they played sloppy defensively and wild pitches should have blocked them, whatever, however you want to describe that. At the end of the day, it was a 5-2 game, and they made the Yankees essentially put their closer out there, Luke Weaver. I know he's not been the closer all season. He's been the closer of late. For 5 outs. Like they made the Yankees work for that in a game that they really had no business being part of.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking for anything right now to be positive about. It's one game. The Mets lost 9-0 in Game 1 of the Dodgers. They went back and won Game 2.
What, 7-3 or something?
Yeah,
like that?
so things can turn around. Momentum is the next day starting pitcher. Now, the Yankees have Garrett Cole. He's pitched great against the Guardians in the playoffs. And guy's a great pitcher. But you got your best pitcher today. And Bobby, and yes, I think the Guardians will be very aggressive in terms of using their bullpen today if necessary. Like
Matt Boyd type aggressive, like 2 innings to get him out.
Yeah, if necessary. But
you can't do that. You can't do that with Bobby.
What's that?
You can't do
not
that
like
with
Matthew Boyd. They took Matthew Boyd without any reason to take him out. But
especially if you get a lead in this game, man.
Right? Oh yeah. But if Bybee is struggling, yeah, you can't be too patient. But you're not going to pull him out after 2 innings. Like there was no reason to pull out Boyd, except you're antsy about him facing. And it's going to be interesting to see when they come back to Cleveland and Zach and I were talking about this on the Guardian show this morning, I would really think about using some openers against the Yankees. So this with the other starters. So this way, if you have an opener pitch the first inning in Game 3, and then you have Matthew Boyd come in inning 2, well, now he could pitch maybe 5 innings because you only have to face Judge and Soto once instead of twice, or maybe 2 times instead of 3 times, because you put in a good reliever in the beginning to face those guys the first time around.